Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Run It Back. This week, we are doing the comedic classic, Superbad. Oh, I was so excited to do this. We've been talking about this for forever. It's finally here. Joining me, as always, to the bottom, we got Mr. Adam Shubert, and to my left, we got Mr. Ian. I'll start off with Ian. Ian, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. It's getting cold here in Michigan, but I'm surviving.
I could imagine. It's getting cold here, shit. So, I can only imagine where it gets somewhere that's actually cold. I like the stash stallion in the building.
Yeah, man, it's November, so I had to do it to him.
Fuck yeah. Also joining us, Mr. Adam Shubert. Shuby, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay, man. You know, it's actually super cold in Alabama too. So
that's what I'm saying. If it's cold in the South, I could only imagine how cold it is elsewhere.
Yeah,
we haven't seen any snow yet, so that's nice. It's just been a little bit of flurries at real late at night, if it's been anything. So I'm imagining we're gonna have a horrible March and April if it's not bad during November.
Yep, and it's been 50 here, and I know that's not cold to other people, but 50 here is a lot. It got to 48, 46, and I was like, ooh, geez, it is cold.
Yeah, man, 50 is still cold everywhere. I still put on a sweatshirt like a normal person. I did spend a lot of time in Alabama and New Orleans, so people from the north, they like to give you a hard time, but they're just faking, man. Everybody gets super cold.
That's what I'm saying. 1,000%. What's I about to say? But it's good that it's cold, though, Shubert, because that means hurricanes are going to be over with.
Oh, for sure.
It was bad. This was a bad year.
Yeah, every time I've said that I was living in New Orleans, people are like, "Oh, you survived the hurricanes?" I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, well, yeah."
Y'all didn't really get hit. And honestly,
except for the last one,
Lafayette didn't get hit too bad either. It was mainly Lake Charles. Lake Charles got fucked. But that's beside the point. We're here to talk Superbad.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'm just glad to be talking Superbad, which is probably my favorite movie ever. So
is it really? Okay. See, this is one of those where I don't know where this movie falls, but I'd be an idiot to say it doesn't fall in my top 10. I just haven't thought out my legitimate top 10 movies because I being that I'm so different than I was when I was in high school. Seeing I've been watching a bunch of old movies, and ever since we started doing this movie pod, me and you have just been diving into movies and TV, and there's some Jimmy Stewart movies I want to put in there, some Alfred Hitchcocks, but it's do I go to some of these older things? I don't know where my top 10 falls, but in terms of comedy, it's got to be top 5. Got to be top 5.
Well, I think the funny thing about this movie is that, for me at least, every rewatch as I've gotten older, you kind of learn more things that apply into the film that you're like, oh, well, that's super funny. I didn't even grasp that. Or just to see the evolution of some of the characters and some of the side characters and where they are now kind of thing. It just makes it really fun to watch it over and over again. But I mean, I've probably quoted this movie more times than I've ever quoted any other movie. So
that's a fact. Let's get y'all's opening thoughts because you said the cast. I'm gonna pull that up because that's another thing I just forgot. This show starts off where we give our opening thoughts. We go a little bit into background of the film, and then we do things like best scene. For this movie, because there's no best fight or anything like that, I did best quotes, and I should have told y'all this, but I figured y'all could thought about this on the fly. What felt the most like high school looking back on it? When I watched this movie, it gave me so many memories of just being in high school, and there's certain things that felt very true to high school, but then there were certain things that felt maybe that wasn't our generation. So I wanted to ask y'all, what felt the most like high school? Of course, we got Are We Sure? Because there's one super major flaw, Are We Sure, to this movie that I don't understand how this happened, but we'll get to it. Then we have who won the movie, who took the dub, who took the L, who took the loss, and then six man of the movie. So with that being said, let's start off. Ian, what's your opening thoughts of this movie? What's your first memories of it, and what makes this movie so endearing to you?
So this movie came out in what, 2005?
7.
7, yeah.
7? Okay. So I was still fairly young at that point. I would have been in 6th, 7th grade. So I didn't see it right away. I saw it when I was in high school. And at the time I was like, wow, this is definitely the funniest movie I've ever seen. So in terms of comedy, it's one of my favorites. But like you say, now it's been 10 years since high school, which is crazy.
Yeah, we're old.
So yeah,
I think
so I've seen a lot of movies since then. I don't know where I put it in my top 10, but it's definitely up there.
You were 14, huh? You had to, because I think I was 13. We were 13, 14.
He was 2 years. He graduated 2 years under us. So
okay, so yeah, Schubert, we were 14. I was about to say
we were pretty much freshmen.
Yeah, That's what I was about to say. That's why this movie felt different to me, because it felt like, okay, these people are seniors. This is what I'm looking forward to for these next 4 years. And there's some moments that stayed true, man. Like, we'll get to them for that segment, but interesting. Didn't know you're 2 years younger than us. But that makes sense why you say you're in 6th grade. Because we were like in 8th. Like, we were going to high school. We were getting ready for this monster. And like,
that's why for me, this movie feels more of like my high school movie. Like, I've always said that like Superbad kind of summarizes like high school.
yep.
For like from the day to day, and then like Project X was like that next stage that I was like where I was a senior, and I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm partying.
I was just about to say Project X was like my senior year to college, like, but Superbad was the original. Like, you had moments where you felt like these people. You had moments where, and I'm gonna save it for that topic because I feel like that's where we'll dive into like the connections to high school. So I'll save it. But in terms of cast, what a fucking incredible cast. I keep telling them, and I'm going to say this on the show, I don't know who's going to fucking win this movie. I still don't know. And Schubert said that was the easiest category, but I have no idea. This cast was fucking incredible. Let me just run through it real quick. Just let me run through this cast, and I'm going to do like the full cast because...
And a majority of it is before they ever did anything legit. Like, so you read the names now, and it's like, oh, this guy. But then, at this point, none of these people had like really made it yet. I'm sure, at least for Emma Stone, who, I'm sorry I'm taking one, but like, this was like her first breakout role.
Movie. Yep, that's something I had in background. Okay, so we got Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Christoph Mintz-Plasse, who is probably the person who hasn't done the best from this movie. Like, he's done Kick-Ass, but like other than that,
he was in Neighbors.
Yeah, he was, but like out of everybody else that I'm about to say, has been like, he was the breakout in this, but he hasn't like lived up to that. So we got him, Bill Hader, Seth Rogen, Martha McIsaac, who honestly, Christoph Mintz-Plasse has done more than her. Emma Stone, you get Jolo Trigulio from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Kevin Corrigan, who's like guy.
Yeah.
You get Dave Franco, OG role. There's like 2 more people that I saw that was like, whoa, these people are in it. Hold on, I got to skip through some of these other names because David Krumholtz as like one of the people in that party. You get Martin Starr, another person in that party.
Clark Duke.
Wait, which one's Clark Duke?
The guy from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yes, that was another one. I had to scroll down. Clark Duke's in there. Michael Naughton, you guys will definitely know him. Waiter from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the waiter that gets the spaghetti in his face. He's in this fucking movie. Which I thought I had to mention that because It's Always Sunny stan. So that's big. And just, like you said, Clark Duke. I think that's about everybody.
Yeah, there's one other one that like, I remember that this chick was on Disney Channel. And then when like I saw her that she was on Disney Channel, the first time I'm flipping through channels. And I'm like,
wait,
that is the chick from Superbad.
in this fucking movie?
Yeah, they don't even credit him though.
They didn't create Danny McBride's in this fucking...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even realize. Crazy. Again, just what an incredible fucking cast in this. Oh, Moose is in this movie. If you remember Moose from Step It Up. That's like a deep cut. Fucking Moose. But yeah, this movie was great. Let's get in the background now. I think we've clamored about it because I don't want to step on any of our topics. So Superbad's a 2007 American coming-of-age comedy directed by Greg Mottola and produced by the legendary Jude Apatow, which in my opinion, I've said this multiple times on Bros You Binge, the Jude Apatow comedy era in terms of just overall comedy, in terms of movies, I think is my favorite. I like it over the Sandler, Jim Carrey era. I like it over the, in black comedies, we were getting like the Chris Tucker era. Chris Tucker era is probably the only thing that like, but it was small. Like Apatow put out a lot of movies. So the Chris Tucker era was kind of too small to say it was better. You have the Eddie Murphy era that was before our time, which was legendary. But like in terms of our time, I like it more than Sandler. I like it more than the Carey era. I like it more than the Will Ferrell era. Yeah, I like it more than the Ferrell era. I just think what Apatow did, you get Superbad, Knocked Up, Pineapple Express, fucking Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek. Look, that's hits. That's fucking hits. Am I off for that?
The only thing I can argue during this era is probably the Ferrell era because like there's plenty of people that'll come at you and be like, okay, well during the span you get like Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Old School's even earlier, and you can even count Elf in that if you're counting. Kicking
Yeah,
and Screaming is really funny.
Anchorman.
Very
No,
underrated.
look, I get it.
Anchorman.
I'm not mad at it. I put the Farrell era over the Sandler era. I am not a fan of the Sandler era and the Jim Carrey era. Just too many
You know,
dick joke and
We
fart
didn't even
jokes.
say Blades of Glory and Semi-Pro either.
I actually
so,
loved both of those movies.
so I think the Farrell era still takes
All
it
right.
from me. Judd Apatow is second.
Yeah, Judd
Yeah,
Apatow's up
'cause-
there.
Yeah, I mean, hot take for me is I don't like some of the movies that you named in the Apatow world, but that's
Yeah,
just
which one you don't like? 40-Year-Old Virgin?
40-year-old version's kind of growing on me. I didn't really like
I
Knocked
like that
Up.
movie. Okay, I'm not mad at that, but I think that has less to do with Apatow and Seth Rogen, more to do with Katherine Heigl for me. I do not fucking like Katherine
That's
Heigl.
fair. The one thing I'll say about this director, though, you kind of wonder whatever happened to this guy. The other movie that he did that was pretty big was Adventureland. But, what I thought was really interesting is that what he's done most recently is he did 3 episodes of Dave.
Oh, real? Good for him. Makes sense. Dave is really good. Hell yeah.
But it does make sense because I feel like Dave, and especially like some of the episodes where he goes back in time with his life, do feel very Superbad-esque.
Now that you say that, the flashbacks definitely feel very akin to the flashbacks here. The film stars Jonah Hill and Michael Cera as Seth and Evan, 2 teenagers about to graduate from high school. Before graduating, the boys want to party and lose their virginity, but their plan proves harder than expected. Written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, the script began in development when they were 13 years old, was loosely based on their experience in grade 12 at Point Grey Secondary School in Vancouver during the 90s. The main characters have given the same names as the 2 writers. Rogen was also initially intended to play Seth, but due to his age and physical size, that had to be changed, and Hill went on to portray Seth, while Rogen portrayed the irresponsible officer Michaels opposite the Saturday Night Live star Bill Hader as Officer Slater. Upon release, the film received positive reviews with critics praising the dialogue and the chemistry between the 2 leads. The film has also proved financially successful, grossing over $170 million on a $20 million budget. Ooh, that's cash money. The film took 7 years to complete from early scripting in 2000 and filmed from 2006 to 2007. So damn, took 7 years to get this thing off the ground. Mintz-Plasse was only 17 at the time of the filming of Superbad. As a result, his mother was required to be on set, and especially during his sex scene, so she saw it all. And the casting director found him because she found him. The casting director was her. She found him while she was walking through somewhere, and literally somebody had his headshot on their phone. She took a quick glance, saw it, and was like, "Oh, this is the guy." Crazy how that happened for that guy. So also the film grossed $121.5 million and a worldwide total of $169 million worldwide. Compared to the budget of $20 million, the film was a huge profit, making it the highest domestic grossing high school comedy at the time. It was surpassed by 21 Jump Street, however, which is another Jonah Hill movie in 2012. I thought I needed to say this. This movie was nominated at the MTV Movie Awards for Best Movie in 2008, and it was nominated for breakout stars Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, and Christoph Mintz-Plasse. They lost both of those. Do you gentlemen care to know what they lost to at the MTV Movie Awards? Which is,
Probably Twilight.
I feel MTV needs their ass whooped for this. Let me tell you the nominations: Juno, another Michael Cera movie; National Treasure, Pirates of the Caribbean; I Am Legend. They lost to Shia LaBeouf, Transformers.
Oh, that was...
Which Pirates of the Caribbean was it, just out of curiosity?
At World's End. Not a good one.
Oh, okay. Yikes.
Superbad should have won this to me. It's the MTV Movie Awards. It's for kids. Like, it's for teens. It's for these 18 to 20, like 14 to 23 years old. Transformers was cool, but it wasn't Superbad.
No, and it wasn't even National Treasure, in my opinion.
Ooh, that's a hot take. I'm with you on that hot take, too.
Wait,
yeah.
Was it your OG Transformers?
Yeah, it's the first
with
one.
Shia and Megan
Shia's
and the first one.
Yeah, the first one's good. I like the first one.
Yeah,
but,
well, I'm still picking National Treasure, to be quite honest with you.
Also,
National Treasure's all-time classic.
Breakthrough performance. Let me tell you who was nominated and who they lost to. So, Chris Brown, This Is Christmas; Megan Fox, Transformers; Nikki Blonsky, Hairspray; Michael Cera, Jonah Hill; Christoph Mintz-Plasse; Seth Rogen for Knocked Up. They lost to Zac Efron from Hairspray, which is bullshit. Which is bullshit.
That was only because it was Zac Efron.
Yeah, that's only because he was cute. That's the only reason why he won that.
And what was that, like 2-3 years after High School Musical at the most?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was still right in his heyday.
Look, I just had to throw those out there because I thought the MTV Movie Awards disgraced this movie. So
Well, when has it ever not been disgraceful?
true. That's a good point. Actors Jason Segel and Martin Starr were ready for the roles of Evan and McLovin, respectively, but
I could see Martin Starr would have probably been McLovin.
Martin Starr would have been McLovin and Jason Segel would have been Evan, but they were considered too old for the film. It would have been a reunion of Freaks and Geeks. But this is Emma Stone's first movie. In an interview with Cinema Blend, Apatow said that he always wanted to do a sequel to Superbad, but couldn't convince anybody. The actors, no one with Superbad thought we should do another one, but I wanted to do Superbad in college desperately, but no one would listen to me. It seems like the actors were just happy with the way things ended. So no Superbad 2, guys. I apologize. And that's pretty much all the background. I would have liked the Superbad 2, but I think they made the right choice. Yeah, I think they made the right choice.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I should say it now or as some kind of closing thought, but I have an idea for what I would like to see based on Superbad.
You want to see them as parents?
No. You want me to
Might as well say it now? Yeah, say it now.
All right. Well, I always, when I'm watching this movie, what I would love to see is maybe if it's a cartoon version, because you can't do it live action anymore, or even just like a book. But, one of my favorite things that Star Wars has done is the certain point of view books, where like it tells you what's going on in the timeline of the movie but with other characters. I'd love to explore further different patches of the characters that are seen in the movie, especially even some of the characters that you don't even like really pay
you're talking like
to.
Jules and Becca.
Jules, Becca, the dude who snorts the cocaine in the room, like the guy who works at the liquor store.
Oh, you're really trying to expand this Superbad universe.
Random side stories that have to do with people who were within the timeline of the movie.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I can tell that you've been really getting into your Star Wars bag though, because of Mandalorian.
Well, I mean, certain point of view, yeah, it's a great book. People check that out. They have a New Hope version and an Empire Strikes Back version.
Well, also, speaking of directors getting book deals, Tarantino just got a 2-book deal, and he's going to start with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, turning that into a book.
Now you see, I'm going to dig that. He's going to get into some deep shit with that. I'm down for that. But all right, let's jump into best scenes. There's so many good scenes, so I kind of didn't go as in detail as we normally do. But I did for some stuff. So y'all can interrupt me when we'll go over some of these, and then when we'll just go back and forth. We'll do our thing. The first one I have is the gas station, talking about how you can be good at sex how you have to be good at sex by college. Oh, you got before that. What you got?
Rewind, dude. The intro sequence with the music and then just dancing with like.
You're right.
Like 15 minutes in.
How dare you? And then like right off the bat, it's like, oh yeah, I think I've just decided what porn site I want to subscribe to. The Vagtastic Voyage. Like that whole scene in the beginning is hilarious. Like with the porn site talking about it, it's like, I think you should do Perfect 10, something because it's gonna be on your parents' credit card, or just him talking about his mom or whatever. And he's like, oh, I would have loved to be a baby and have sucked on those titties or whatever. And I'm just like, right off the bat, you're just like, oh, I connect with these two characters. Like I've had conversations with my friends that are similar, or like,
we might as well have this conversation now then, because you brought that up. A lot of the language in this movie, Seth Rogen apologized for, but I don't think he should, because that's how people talked.
It was exactly how we talked.
That's as much, and like me and my girlfriend had this conversation. We always have this conversation just about how society has changed and how there's certain homophobic words that you can't say, but those were the words that were just said. Like that's just the time where when we grew up, that like those were the jokes, and like those were the way that we talked about ladies. Like that's just how it was, and there's nothing like that you can do about it to change that. This is just a look at that time period, So
pretty much.
Definitely felt very realistic to keep. But yeah, all right, you're right. The intro scene, I definitely was like, damn, I forgot how good this was. But I got the gas station, talking about how you could be good at sex by college, the hiding the boners in the waistband, and then all the porn talk. Because I definitely tried hiding the boner in the waistband because of this fucking movie. Like it does not work.
Me too.
You're sick for that.
I did a lot of shit that this movie said. Like, we're gonna get to it, but I tried a lot of it.
There were a lot of things that they kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of high school at that point. You didn't just get compression shorts.
Well, I mean, I played basketball and had compression shorts, but I didn't. Those things weren't comfortable in school. I only wore those to play sports. I fucking hated compression shorts. Like that's a thing that like was a thing in high school when boys were like, "Are you a compression shorts guy? Or are you a boxers guy? Or are you a boxers brief?" And I was boxer briefs, man. I was all about comfortability.
Oh, see, I had these like dope silk. They weren't silk; they were like polyester, but they
Oh, I was
felt
about to
like
say, if
silk
you're the silk
boxers.
guy, I would have laughed at you. They had
Oh,
a
dude,
bunch
I
of
don't.
silk guys out there.
I wasn't balling out like getting $1,200 pair of underwear. You know what I'm saying? But okay, before we go any farther, I want to go back to the opening scene. I'm sorry, I'm
Go
going
ahead.
back here, but I have a very important quote that raises an overall point to this movie for me. So after he says, you should, what about Perfect 10? That's like a very inconspicuous name. Seth's response is, yeah, but they don't really show dick going in and out, which is a huge concern. And Evan says, I didn't realize that. And then Seth says, plus, have you ever seen a vagina by itself? Not for me. So that raises the overall question of this movie for me. Is Seth gay? Do we think Seth is secretly gay?
Man, now that you say it.
And it's the opening scene, so that's why I originally thought about it. And then as I watched the movie further, and I'll bring up other points later, but
He might
there's
be.
a big looming undertone for this movie for me is Seth just secretly gay?
Damn.
Because the way that he does talk about like trying to get with girls is more of like a strategy more so than like it being fluid. Like he's like trying to like make a point, make statements instead of like being like, oh yeah, I just really want to fuck. It's just like, oh yeah, I got to do this before I get to college, and like
Okay,
I
see
gotta,
the vagina thing, that when you said that threw me, because I do agree with him in the fact of I can't have porn unless dick's going in. I'm sorry, I just can't. Like, I can't. I fucking can't. Like,
Okay, so now we are not only trying to confirm if Seth is gay, we're also trying to confirm if Lynden is gay.
no, but like, okay, sorry. We're this is a X-rated pod, but like, no, I can't.
Really?
Bro, I can't do it. Strap-ons with lesbians doesn't work either. Like, none of that shit works. Like, I'm trying to watch sex. I'm sorry. I don't like watching blowjobs because I don't like how dicks look. That's a fact. My ass isn't drawing dicks in a book. So, like,
oh man, the other early online that I love from that is he's like, oh, I'm sick of all the amateur stuff. I mean, I'm paying top dollar for a little production value here, and Seth's like, oh, I'm sorry, Evan. The Coen brothers don't direct porn that you watch.
who it's funny. Who actually watches the storylines in the porn?
You don't know, man. People are into everything nowadays. People will probably watch it just for the storyline, honestly. Like, there are probably some people who are out there very upset because the porn they watch doesn't have enough of a storyline. So I'm not saying it's a common thing, but
Outlander pretty much is porn with a storyline.
Wait, Outlander.
Yeah, so
Outlander is porn with a storyline. Game of Thrones is pretty much porn with a storyline.
I'm not gonna give you Game of Thrones. I'll give you Outlander though. But all right, so that gas station scene for me, just great stuff. Never really was a part of the era where Playboys were in like gas stations. Like I always, because of this movie, I always looked, but never found any.
They're there.
For real?
Maybe not gas stations, but like pharmacies.
Oh,
yeah, maybe not as common now, but at the time, yeah, they were still all over the place.
I never saw a Playboy like at Walmart or anywhere. Like,
No, you just weren't looking.
Trust me, I was looking.
thinking about that gas station scene though, and like talking about like how we would talk to each other is the same way of like how they were talking about girls, and like they're thinking like, oh, I totally think you have a chance with Jules, man. She's like, oh no, like, and he goes through like her dating record, and he's like, oh, like I can't, like whatever, and Evan's like, oh, I would give my left nut to get with Becca or whatever.
And then just the hatching of schemes. Like, we were schemers in high school, man. Like, that's just a fact. We were schemers. So, this movie felt very realistic in that way.
Well, and this just goes back to, Seth Rogen having to apologize for language in this movie. Like, if you're trying to depict a high school senior, this is exactly what a high school senior is like. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't an inaccurate, over-the-top depiction. It was, like, spot on. So I don't think if you change their, characters and, like, kind of dumb them down or PC them, if that makes sense.
It's not realistic.
You're going to lose the element of this movie that makes it what Superbad is, which is just like raw and unfiltered.
That's a fact. I agree with that 100%. The next scene I got is I said, yo, fuck the guy who spit on Seth. Fuck that guy.
Jesse.
New guys like that in high school, just fucking douches. Like, just why? Why is that necessary? And I look at a lot of the shit that I did in high school now, and I'm like, bro, we didn't have to do that. We were just being dumbass kids, and that's like one of the things. Like, he didn't have to spit on Seth.
That's another line that I used to quote all the time, and it was be like, "You fucking bailed on me, you fucking Judas."
Okay, so the next line I have is the next scene I have is Evan's night out where he lies to Becca about the things that him and the boys do. Because I was like, oh, I've definitely done that. I've definitely been like, yeah, we went out. We did this. We didn't do none of that shit.
Yeah, she's like, why don't I see you at the parties? He's like, oh, I'm off doing other things.
I'm going out. I'm talking to people about mountain adventures. Like, it's such an intimate time with these one-on-one on these adult parties and adult clubs we go to.
Went to a nightclub, totally got in.
Didn't get in. Got kicked the fuck out and drank with Fogel and Seth at his parents' house. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was also a big thing where I guess, during some of the rewatches, I kind of noticed even more, like when I actually learned what girls' signs were. But it was like, yeah, she was totally flipping him signs like right off the jump, like taking his pen, being like, oh, I would love to do something like that. And he's just like, yeah, well, who wouldn't?
Yeah, he was an idiot. He was 1,000% an idiot. The signs were definitely there in the beginning. The next scene I have is, let's see. Oh, the introduction of fucking Fogel. Just him walking into the fucking class. And I know you could say the scenes with them doing the Seth making like the dick behind Emma Stone and all that shit. I know you could say that scene, but to me it was when Fogel came in, chicka chicka, yeah, just like, what's up, bitches? Just
what's up, gangsters?
Just being a clown, bro. Christoph Mintz-Plasse was amazing, and then you get the story of how he's walking behind that bitch. Walking behind that girl with her G-string, and he was just looking at it. Then when she turns around, she's like, "What are you doing?" And he tries, and he's talking mumbling so low, and then she's like, "Huh?" And he just walks away.
No, dude, no. Here's how it goes, dude. I have this thing beat for beat. First off, though, in that home ec scene, the line that I really like is like he's talking to the home ec lady, like, no one fucking cares about home ec, like, I'm sorry, excuse my language, whatever. And then he's like, I'm like a single mother here. I wash and dry. I'm just like, I used to say that all the time, and then like with Fogel, he's like, oh yeah, I was just walking down the hallway and Nicola was wearing these tight white pants with this black G-string that you could totally see through the pants. And then she turned around and then he's like, it's 10:15. I totally told her what time it was.
That dude, man, McLovin, the best. All right,
dude,
so
that's the classic. Like you have like a total like, for lack of a better word, like a boner move, like you just totally flub in front of some chick and then you try and play it off to your friends that are like nah, yeah, it was tight. Like,
a lot of male lying in this movie. A lot of male lying in this movie.
A lot of male toxicity in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where the women are coming from.
Real talk, why girls did that all the time, like when I was in middle school, dude. Like I'd be walking down the hall in middle school and like these girls be like wearing like these thong G-strings that would be coming out of their pants. I'm just like, yo, like what are we doing here? So like that was like what speaks to me right away. Like I was like, oh dude, I see this all the time.
Toxic, bro. That's toxic. They should be able to wear what they want. You fucking toxic boy. but no, I agree with you. But next up we got the dick drawing story. Gotta have the dick drawing story.
We skipped over Fogel tells him he's getting a fake ID, and then Jules asks them to buy for the party.
True.
That's like the whole setup.
Yep, that's the whole plot of everything. And remember those times. I'm saving all that stuff for the what felt most like high school, because like got that under wraps. But you're 1,000% right. But yeah, the dick drawing, like all those dicks, like dude was drawing dick tanks, dick man, like it was a lot.
There was a lot of art in that. Like, I'm finishing up one big veiny triumphant bastard.
And the fact that when Evan's like, bro, why are you telling me this? What does that have to do with Becky? He's like, just wait, it's coming.
Dude, I love where he's like, oh yeah, like the principal was some kind of religious fanatic and he thought it had been taken over by some kind of dick devil.
And he's got to go to therapy, and he can't eat foods that are shaped like dicks. He's like, do you know how many foods are shaped like dicks?
The best
All
foods
the
are
good
shaped
ones.
like dicks. Popsicles, hot dogs, corn dogs. Could he not eat French fries? Like, I guess not.
Bananas are out.
Mhm.
Could
Oh,
eat a
man.
pizza. It's triangle. You know, maybe.
I don't know if you
right
roll it up, I guess.
No, but that shit was hilarious, dude. And that was like what I was talking about earlier with like there was the chick who played Becca in that was like some Disney Channel chick. And I was like,
Oh.
I one time flipping through channels, like, that's the fucking chick that had dick that fucking Seth's dick touched.
Oh shit. Okay, so I have McLovin is born. That's when they're talking outside of the school when they think McLovin ditched on him, and he walks in and they're like, bro, why did you choose fucking Hawaii? And they're like, wait, why did you choose the name McLovin? He's like, it's either McLovin or Muhammad. Muhammad's the most common name. Read a fucking book, Seth. And he's like, why the fuck would you choose Muhammad, you fucking dildo, McLovin? And then they realize he only has one name. It's just McLovin.
Who are you, Fogel? Seal? Oh, I love where he's like, I am McLovin. And then he's like, no, you're not. McLovin's a dumb fucking made up fairy tale name. You fuck.
Such just great dialogue between the three because that was very realistic.
Yeah. The one thing that goes interwoven with all of that is where Seth meets up with Jules, and then he's like, yeah, the funny thing about my back is that it's located on my cock or whatever. And I'm like, oh.
When he
And
said
like,
that, I was like, huh? And the friend is just like,
what is
Jules
wrong with
is
this
like,
guy?
Jewel fakes laugh. She's like, ha, ha, ha.
Well, he immediately like just goes right back into it. So like, yeah, booze, no booze, yeah, booze.
Are
no
we doing
booze?
this?
Like,
Were we doing this? Yeah, no,
we
that
don't have to do this.
Give me some Kyle's Killer Lemonade. Kind of gay, but okay.
Yeah, yo, when he said that, I was just like, you're just digging yourself a bigger hole for you, bro. Like the friend is gonna talk so much shit behind your back. She does not like you. So
and then Evan going up to Becca and being like, yeah, I'm coming to the party, like. And then he goes back to Seth later and is like, oh yeah, I told her to that I would pay for the liquor. I felt like such a badass. He's like, oh dude, that's so pimp.
I should have did that. No.
Well, and that's also the scene where Evan punches her boob on accident.
That's a fact. But
so much good shit.
Seth did the right thing taking Jules's money. Do not simp and like Evan. That is simp move.
Well, that was just one thing though. So yeah.
Simp move.
He could pull that off.
Evan is the simp lord. So
but and then with the one thing before the school, because I feel like you're about to get out of the school, is where you get the Dave Franco.
I'm definitely getting out of the school.
Because you get the Dave Franco thing, and the people don't forget was a line that I used all the time about him peeing his pants. And also during that scene where Seth and Evan are talking is like the first time I remember hearing DTF. She's like, she's DTF, down to fuck. Mom's making a puby salad. She needs some of Seth's own dressing.
Jersey Shore, it's admitted that Jersey Shore took that from Superbad and thus making it super popular. And Seth Rogen was like, it's okay.
Well, he also said, she wants my dick in and around her mouth. That was a big bit for a while, at least at my school after that.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, no, I'm out of the school. I'm definitely out of the school now. So then I go, Seth's trying to steal alcohol in the grocery store. Just the different
where you
scenes.
thought the movie began.
That's where I thought it began. I like every time I remember that, I'm like, yo, all right, this is where I think shit gets real. We have the different skits.
They walk off the bus, dude, and that score is fucking badass. They're walking out and like just fucking vibing with his Johnny Cash, fucking outfit.
Yeah. So in the grandma thing, I loved it. Like have fun at the party, and she's like, have fun fucking Jules.
I will.
Yeah. And then the security guard's like, hold it, don't do it, son. And then he throws the bottle, throws it back at the lady. You killed her, and he slices the fucking throat. Such a good like just imagination in a kid's brain, because I remember that. Like, I remember being in a store thinking about doing something dumb and then running through all the circumstances that would never have happened in a million years. It's just the young mind of an adolescent teenager just going through different scenarios in their mind. So that felt very, very realistic. And then I got
take that fucking vest off. You look like Aladdin.
Yeah, McLovin. Okay, then I got McLovin gets knocked out trying to buy alcohol inside of the booze store. And you can include in that whole montage him dropping the beer on the thing, the man saying, fuck this, I hate my life. And then him talking to the lady all scared. She was not gonna ID him at first, but then when he starts like, oh, good weather outside, how you doing? He's just,
I heard they added
gulps.
more hops to it.
Yeah, she's like, hold up.
And then she's like, I need to see your ID. And he's like, oh, you make me feel young again. And I'm going to incriminate myself here, but I definitely used that when I was when I had a fake ID in high school.
Wait, save all of that, Ian, because when we get what felt like high school, I have all of that. Like, having a fake ID was such a moment in time, like, that I'll never forget. And I don't know if kids get away with it now, because when we were there, I don't know if y'all know, but there's this Chinese website that I'll never forget. There, you go into the Chinese website and you get like 6 people in the school to join up their money. You pay $400 and you get a legitimate look. Like, I can't tell you how legitimate this was. Like,
The side I knew, you get 2.
You get 2. Both of mine were from Ohio. They scanned. They worked like they at Circle K when they did the little trigger gun. Cleared. This guy's from Ohio. I don't know how the Chinese did that, but that's the thing that happened in my life that I'll never fucking forget. And then I remember when the Chinese site went down and all the young ones was like, "Damn, I can't get no more fake IDs," and it was like, "Sauce, boss."
Yeah, you missed out, bud.
Such a good time.
And so, like, even in that whole sequence or whatever, they go, Fogel's inside, he gets punched or whatever, but Seth and Evan go and they see that chick, and she's like, oh, I heard she got breast reduction surgery. Oh, can you slap God in the face for giving you a gorgeous gift or whatever? I got to go get a glimpse of these warlocks.
And then he gets hit by the car by the Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy.
That was even later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was later. So they take off and they chase after the chick with the boobs, and that's when Fogel gets knocked out. So they're not there to see it.
Yep.
And then they come back and
Bunch
they
of
think
cops.
that the cops are busting Fogel because they're like interviewing him at that point. So then they bail on him.
And I write the introduction to Rogan and
did the guy look like you or me?
Yeah, that's what I literally wrote when they asked was he a female, was he black?
Oh, so he's an African Jew.
Yeah. Seth Rogen's like, oh, he looks like me. He's Jewish. Okay, so we got an African Jew.
Usually they don't commit robberies. They're very docile.
And then I wrote down Seth gets hit by the Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy. That's DeFogli or whatever his name is. I just wrote down Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy. So, and then I have Seth and Evan go to Mark's party to steal the alcohol.
When he gets hit by the Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy, he's like, please don't tell anyone. I have a arrest warrant out for a non-violent crime.
Totally non-violent crime.
I'm like, dude's a fucking molester. And I'm like, you better not get in the fucking car. He's like, you better give me money or booze or I'm calling the fucking cops. And Evan's like, no, I don't think we should do this.
Now that you say dudes was a molester, when we get to the party, it's like you bringing your fucking friends or your little fucking friends.
Fantastic friends.
Well, my favorite part of the parking lot scene is at one point when Evan and Seth are off to the side talking, he goes, hey, you know a guy named Jimmy? You look just like his brother. And then he puts his hands on his knees and goes, just like him.
Just like his fucking brother, man.
Or when they're in the car and he's like, yeah, we're getting laid. High five, man.
Yeah, who's going to give it to her? You are, my man.
I knew fuckers like that. I just old fucks who still tried to hang out with the high school kids. New fuckers like that.
You can't fucking say that, though, because when I got to the party and I was watching it this most recent time, I was like, oh, shit, that's us.
What? The
right
adult
now.
party?
Yeah.
Well, no, we're Mark's party. We're not that guy. We're not,
No. But we're Mark's party.
Yeah. We're definitely Mark's party. Okay, so then I got Seth and Evan go to Mark's party, steal alcohol, and Mark beats the Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy's ass. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy gave him a good uppercut, but then he got kicked in the balls.
Yeah, and then he got stomped out.
By everybody. Yeah, he got fucked.
Everybody just started kicking him in the head.
Here, from this point of where we're talking about, I feel like let's go through the Seth and Evan stuff because it flips from them and back to Fogel or whatever.
Yeah.
And then let's do all the Fogel stuff together.
That's cool. I wrote that. The reason why I'm wearing a Biggie shirt is because of Seth dancing with Mark's fiance, who he did not know at the time, getting period blood on his leg. Him go and talk to those dudes. They're like, "Hey, what's that on your leg?" He's like, "It's Merlot." No, bro, it's not. That's period blood.
The one other thing I have to mention back at the liquor store that we didn't say, there's two things. I learned this last time I watched it. Outside the liquor store, Seth says, this plan has been fucked since Jump Street. I thought that was hilarious since he was on Jump Street.
True.
And then we forgot to talk about where Evan's like, "Did you bring a condom?" He's like, "Yeah, and I brought some lube." And he's like, "You brought lube?"
That's for my what felt like high school situation where you're talking about having sex and you're like, "Yo, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it because I wrote shit down. But that's
just a little bottle
effect.
of spermicidal lube.
Why the fuck do you need that? Like, why? These women are 18 years old, Evan. Like, what's wrong with you? They're fertile.
Oh, Evan, thank you for bringing me that lube.
I had so much trouble with your 4-inch penis.
Fucking lube.
So yeah, that's then you said you want to go through all of it. Jimmy's brother, they're realizing they think Evan's Jimmy's brother. They make him go sing, "I want to someone."
Later on in the cop car, that song plays.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious. I never
Dude
knew.
snorting coke. Martin whatchamacallit's in that scene. Dude from Silicon Valley. He's up in there. So that's a good.
I love the dude with the cocaine. He's like, "Wow, wow."
And there's smoke. That Indian guy was smoking a cig in Mark's house. I was like, damn, what a douche. I thought it was a joint at first, but then I was like, no, that's a fucking cigarette. So like,
no, man, it was the 2000s. People were still cool with cigarettes at house parties.
I only had one time at a house party where people smoked cigs inside, and it was because I led the person, and it was at my house, and we put up all the windows. Again, crazy times. That's for when we get to the high school section. Okay, so then I said then the fight breaks out because no, my "Are we sure?" He goes down to clean the period blood off in the bottom of the basement. He's cleaning it off, and he sees all the beer in the fridge. He then takes out a Tide Big detergent, pours it out, and then inserts beer in the detergent. Everyone who drank that would have fucking died.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been sick.
Well, and at one point, he even calls it green beer, and it's like his mouth is turning green. So,
bro, they would have gotten
that
sick.
whole number.
Like, that's a big "Are we sure?" That whole party would have been fucked.
Well, and even if you try and wash it out, it just gets sudsy in the water. Like, it doesn't go away. It just gets worse, debatably. So
that's what I'm saying.
He would have had to have been there for like an hour scrubbing that bottle over and over again and like drying it off and scrubbing it again to get it clean enough to use safely.
To store beer that you're going to drink. Yeah. Big "Are we sure?" Yeah. So, and then they get in the fight over
Hold him, Jimmy's brother.
Yeah. Because Mark realized that Seth danced with his fiance.
You danced with my fiance, Jacinda?
And then he's like, "Why do you have that detergent?" He's like, "Well, I got blood on my pants."
He just throws his hands up.
We're blood brothers.
Throws the fucking bottle at the coke dude's head. Dude starts bleeding. They're like, "Oh no!" And they start fighting. And like you said, hold him, Jimmy's brother. It's like, "Come on, Evan, we got to get out of here." So then you go to the McLovin portion, and then they go to a bar. And then him and the cops, Michaels and Slater at the bar, they're just talking shit. I wrote down a line. I might as well say it now.
So they get called there for like a crime, like a call,
Oh yeah, that's before the conversation.
Yeah, they were talking in the car or whatever, and he's like telling him about how Michaels is new, and he's like, "Oh, young Yoda or whatever," and like he's like, "Yeah, Yoda from Attack of the Clones." I thought, as a Star Wars person, I think it's hilarious.
They get to the bar. They're like, "Stop him, McLovin! Stop him!"
The guy just like slips on the patch that the guy was mopping, and they come in and they're like, "Oh, McLovin, you stopped him!" And he's like, "Yeah."
Michaels tells McLovin, "If the bullets start flying, hit the deck. The tiger's out of the cage now. I'm sorry, man."
Yeah, I love how the dude's running around and he's like, "I'm gonna shoot him." He's like, "Don't shoot him, don't shoot him." Like, of course these fucking cops are whipping out their guns and ready to shoot this fucking homeless dude.
Trust, I wrote down how Michaels and Slater are some of the worst cops ever and fucking waste taxpayers' dollars. So they do all that, they stop them, and then they're just going drink by the side. They're drinking at the bar. Oh, this is a line I wrote down where they're like, "You don't want to meet a chick at a bar. You want to go to a spin class, a market. Just not here, McLovin. It's not a good choice." And then
a pumpkin patch when season permits.
And then Slater's telling him about how he met his first wife at a bar. Turns out she was a prostitute.
Yeah, she was literally a whore. Like on her honeymoon, she had group sex. I wasn't in it, but I
But
heard
I
it from-
was. Hader was amazing, bro. Hader and Rogan are fucking amazing in this movie. So then they leave the fucking bar they take the tape of McLovin getting knocked out, and then they're just drinking on the side of the road. Literally wrote this. I was like, oh, here we go. Michaels and Hader wasting taxpayers' dollars, shooting a stop sign, just drinking on the side of the road, not doing any crimes. And then they get back in the car, and the lady's like, "Oh, y'all have to go do this one. Y'all are in the area." And because I didn't realize when I first watched that, that the lady realizes that these are shitty fucking cops. And then
Car 98, that means you.
They're on their way to the fucking whatchamacallit, and then they stop Evan and Seth. And as they're running on the ground, they get them on the ground. McLovin comes outside. They realize it's him, and then Evan just takes off fucking running. He's the fastest kid.
Spread your shit. Spread your shit. Spread your shit. Hold fucking hands. What? Just hold my fucking hand, man.
He's the fastest kid in the fucking world. He's the fastest kid ever. He's got to be Nigerian. he's a track star.
Well, and you also get when Evan bolts initially, then Seth gets up and starts running, and McLovin or Fogel runs with him, and Bill Hader yells, "McLovin bailed, chase the kid!" And then he turns around and starts chasing us.
McLovin, why?
Kicks out the fucking hood of the car. Hader kicks out of the fucking windshield, and he's just like, "McLovin, where are you, McLovin?"
You are our friend, McLovin.
We need you. And then so that all that happens. Oh, I did write down Seth trips over that family running, and that old man comes
through the back. Yeah.
What's the back?
Dude, Seth his back, it just has to be hurting. He gets hit by a car twice.
He got hit by that lamp in that Mark fight. The bitch with the period hit him with a lamp. I was like, that would have hurt a lot more than he portrayed on the screen. But so yeah, I wrote Seth trips over that family, and then then y'all should take over, because like this is where I stopped being detailed. I was just like, we go to the party. Becca fucking pukes on it. No, yeah, you can take over.
So like they get into the party or whatever, and like Jules is like, everybody, Seth's got it, and it's like, yeah, and so like Seth's like having the time of his life. People are toasting to him. It's like, to Seth, and everyone's like, who's Seth? It's like, I'm Seth, and like shit like
drinking
that. And
that
then
green beer.
And then Gabby comes up to Evan and is like, Evan, you almost blew it. She was totally talking in the car about how she wants to like give you a blowjob, and like we skipped over that whole scene where they were in the car. That was part of the reason I thought about that, because I would love to know like what Becca's perspective of things happening and like all that. And like, you know, he was on the phone with her, cursing her out pretty much. But yeah, so she's like, oh, not if you're drunk. It's okay if you're drunk too or whatever. So he goes in there and he tries to take a sip of vodka. He's like,
oh, shit sucks. And then they all try to get in fucking the scene where Seth is talking to Jules and he's like trying to get with her, and then he headbutts her to the fucking face. And then meanwhile, Becca's just puking on Evan, which is just the worst. Just the fucking worst.
Yeah, man, like that shit was hilarious. Like she was the most sloppy drunk like ever.
He did the right thing though. He definitely did the right thing.
Yes.
But he got puked on. Sucks, my guy. And then McLovin getting with his lady, getting with his girl.
Well, and then getting cock blocked by his cop friends.
But then his cop friends make up for it by making him look like a badass, and everybody at the party is like, "Whoa, McLovin!" She was like, "He was gonna take me to Hawaii."
Yeah, they take him out. He's jumping around. You'll never take me alive. I'm Fogel.
Fuck you.
They're like, oh, that's gonna get you so much ass, and he's like, really?
Like,
and they're like, yeah.
Yeah. Like Lynden said, the dude spits on him, and like, they hit him or whatever, and then everyone stops and they grab him, and it's like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy.
That's one thing I wrote. Yeah, the fucking Hader hit the fuck out of the spit kid. That was amazing. The Hader was like, he was cool with dealing with McLovin's shit. He was all cool with that. But then when that spit kid did that, I feel like Bill Hader was like McLovin, or so say in that universe. I feel like that Slater character was the nerdy kid like McLovin. So when that bully came and did that, Hader took out all of it. It's just like, that cop would have been fucked. Like, he just straight bashed that dude across, and this jaw was broken.
Yeah, dude, he hit him with the billy club. He didn't even punch him. Just, dude, you would mess up somebody's face for the rest of their life if you did that to them.
Clocked in the jaw. She was hilarious.
He'd have been out on paid suspension for a while.
And then I wrote down the mall scene.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like really after the party, it kind of just like I almost like the one thing I hate about this movie is the end because I feel like it just really de-escalates.
But I mean, what else do they have to do?
They have that whole scene where they
do
they're
donuts
having
in the
the
parking lot.
sleepover. Well, they're
No,
having
he's talking about the sleepover.
Oh.
and they have like the whole like, hey man, obviously they're hammered, so they're like, hey man, I love you. I wish we could say I love you and just have it be normal, like basically like you're my best friend. And then they wake up and remember none of it.
Which plays
yeah,
to Ian's whole thing about Seth being gay.
Yeah, which plays into my whole thing because he's like, I love, and then obviously the dicks thing was the third thing with the lunchbox. But those are my three main points.
He could have just been a weird kid.
Is Seth gay?
That is a good point. That is a good point. The only reason why I'll say he's not because he's based off Seth Rogen. That's the only reason why I'll say he's not, and just say Seth was just a weird fucking kid growing up, drawing dicks everywhere.
Did he really do that in real life? Was
I don't
that
know.
his thing?
I don't know. Maybe it might have been.
8% of people have that issue, so you never know.
So yeah, I just got the mall scene, and like I liked it how everything in. Becca went with Evan. Seth went with Jules. Do we question? Does any of them end up hooking up with that girl after? I think Evan and Becca do, but does Seth and Jules hook up? I don't know.
I don't know about them.
Go ahead.
I don't know about them, but Evan and Becca, I think that Evan and Becca went out.
You think they date like for a little bit before college?
I could see her making Dartmouth or whatever.
Yeah, I could see, or I could see them like dating, and then like it becomes like if Superbad 2 was a thing, we could see Evan deal with like long distance relationships and has to break up with Becca. That's something I can see, but I don't think Seth got with Jules. I do not. I like maybe like once before he went to college, if anything, but that doesn't work out like that for the fat kids. I was one of them. So like I
don't know, man. He's got the whole like, because he mentioned like the other guys that she went out with, who were all
the guy who looked like Zach Morris.
Yeah, like the very classic guys that you would want to date. And she already went through all those guys, so maybe she's just looking for something a little bit more relaxed. So.
He might have got it because it does work out for those kids around high school, into high school. Yeah, he might have, but I definitely know Evan got it. And like you said, Schubert, he probably dated her for a little bit. So, all right, word. Here's some of the other quotes I had, and we can get some of y'all's. I got no one has gotten a hand job in cargo shorts since Nam. The tiger got out of the cage. I'm sorry, man. The bullets start flying, hit the deck, and then you don't want to meet a chick in the bar. You want to go to spin class, a market, not here. And then I have he's the fastest kid alive. He's the fastest.
We didn't mention when Fogel was like about to fuck Nicola or whatever. He's like, I got a boner. And she's like, do you have a condom? And he's like, yes, and lube.
Chica, yeah. If y'all have any other quotes, y'all can go ahead and say them here.
No, we hit all of mine.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Literally everything that they say is a quote.
Well, they said...
like they get on the bus or whatever, and the dude's like, "It's you, McMuffin." Like that was a typical drunk quote for me. If I ran into someone later on in a party, I'd be like, "It's you, McMuffin."
I also liked when they're in the opening scene when they're in the car. Seth says, "I'm truly jealous you got to suck on those titties as a baby," and Evan says, "Yeah, well, at least you got to suck on your dad's dick."
Yeah, that was a good comeback. All right, let's get to what felt the most like high school, most relatable. I said thinking you were going to get laid at a party and never doing it. Buying alcohol with a fake ID for the first time was the scariest fucking thing ever. Going through the most shit to get alcohol for a party, and then walking into a party where you don't know anybody and you're like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, who the fuck are you?
I agree with that. No, the most thing I would say felt like high school to me was the conversations at the school and the gas station, all the early stuff, and probably man, some of the party stuff, I guess. What was it? Say Ian, go ahead. There was one that I was going to touch on.
The general mindset that they have is like I said before, I mean, if you take away any of the obviously any of the main characters, but any of the dialogue that they have or the way that they,
went about doing things.
yeah, just just interacted with each other in general. Like, I feel like as we've gotten older now, yeah, we, obviously still have a good time and still tease each other, but like, they're just like, no filter, just saying the
Not to
worst
that
things that
extent.
come to mind. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, we've kind of calmed down in our old age now.
That's a fact.
But just the, in the mindset of like, nothing matters except for like where I'm going to college and like trying to get a girlfriend. Yeah. Or like just getting laid in general. Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. The thinking you were going to get laid at a party but never doing it was this, like, felt so relatable. Like, you planned this whole scheme of, yeah, I'm going to get there. We're going to play beer pong together. I'm going to talk to her. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to get laid by the end of the night. Never fucking happens. Never fucking happened when you wanted it to.
The other thing was that flashback where they were talking, like what you were saying, how you would lie to girls about like what you did the night before, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Their typical night felt like shit that actually I would do in high school.
What I would do, yeah. And then lying to your friends that, what Seth did, lying to your friends that you were going to get some or that you got some, and then them finding out you didn't. Oh, so such high school times.
By the way, what do you guys think is 3/4 of a blowjob?
3/4 of a blowjob?
Because he says that. He's like, yeah, I got like 4 hand jobs and 3/4 of a blowjob, but who's counting?
See, I don't know if he means like
he didn't come. Is that what he meant?
Yeah, how close he was to finishing, or if he means like just how far she put it in her mouth, or like,
yeah,
I feel like there could be a few different ways you could take that one.
It has to be he didn't finish, huh? I don't know what 3/4 of a fucking blowjob is.
That's why whenever I hear that, I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
Did he not get his ball sucked? Like, I don't know what the 3/4 could be anything, but what felt most like high school. This film was very, very relatable. All right, we did my only Are We Sure, which is the green container beer. Do y'all have any other Are We Sures?
Well, my only other Are We Sure is does Seth actually get with Jules? But we kind of answered that one. I'm actually, now that I think about it, like, I don't really know if he would get with her. I made the point earlier playing devil's advocate to you, but I think now, like, I don't think, because you have the moment where she like sees him crying at the party.
She was kind of friend zoning him, if we're being honest.
Yeah, well, at first she was, but she was just like this is not the time or the place to have this conversation, basically. And then when he falls on her and hits her in the face, I think that's the moment where it would have been over. Like, unless she's just this like crazy nice person, like, I don't see a high school girl who's got to take graduation photos the next day, like, getting him getting off that easy.
Unless she really liked him.
Like, even in the mall scene, you can tell that there's like a little bit of animosity.
There's a little tension. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he gets with her. I don't know. That's really complicated because like now that we're talking about it, and you say that if she hangs out with him like they did, she could have did that so Becca could have been with her friend. Like, she could have did that for Becca, or she's doing it because she actually cares for Seth and she likes him that much that she doesn't care about that. It's either two, and either two are plausible, because like I could definitely see her just biting the bullet, going with Seth so Evan could walk with Becca and they could do their thing. Or I could see it that she really cares about him. It could be either way.
Yeah, I mean, the whole timeline of this movie is just like, what, 48 hours at the most?
Yeah,
because they're in school that day, and it's like the last day.
Yeah, it might be 36.
Right? Or maybe like, because she said her family's going out of town, and so she's got the place to herself. What is it, that night?
Yeah, I think
that night.
Yeah, I think the party is on Friday. I don't think it's a Saturday party. I think the party happened, and then Saturday they go to the mall.
Yeah.
So 36 hours max.
So then, yeah, I don't know if he like, especially if it's towards the end of their senior year, I don't see it being like, hey, I've been in high school for 4 years with this guy, damn near, and now I'm just going to give him a chance after he gives me a black eye.
See, I've seen that happen, though. Well, maybe not the black eye thing, but I've seen people start dating, like, right when they graduated, like some idiots.
Yeah, I saw that more in college than I did in high school, because like I feel like with college, people were like scared about the next steps even more than they were with high school to college. So then they kind of just needed something to lock down for a while. and some of them are still in perfectly wonderful relationships. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but yeah, a lot of them didn't work. So
that's a fact.
So, I don't know. Maybe it was just one of those things where she was like, all right, well, you know, it's a transition period in my life, and she was just looking for something to hold on to, and that happened to be Seth. I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, statistically, not very likely.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think, like I said at first, I don't know if he gets with her. I really don't know. That's a toss up. But all right, let's do.
I think at least once, yes, but like dating, that's another story.
I could buy that. I could think they hook up one time, and then she's like, "Oh, this might not really be for me." Like so many ways that could go down. But Schubert's right. Evan definitely dated Becca. They definitely dated, and like he definitely dealt with some long distance bullshit.
But I mean,
he
like
was giving her
throughout the whole movie, you can tell that they like each other. Like you can tell that Becca's like into him.
Yeah, that's a fact. Jules, you're not so sure. Like it's like Jules is more so friendship, like into Seth. But all right, let's do who took the L because that's the easiest one. It's got to be the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, huh? Or Mark, because his fiance was dancing with a high schooler.
Yeah, I could see either of those. I don't know. I hesitate to say.
You could say Jules.
Ooh, you think the cops?
Oh, you go ahead and explain Jules first.
Oh well, Jules, because she got the black guy before her senior grad pictures, and her house got trashed. Yeah, so like, and.
But if she had good friends, they helped them clean. Yeah. Like, if it just depends. Like, because that sounds like you're not a party thrower. I was a party thrower, so, like.
I was a party thrower.
Because, like, your house definitely gets trashed, but if your friends are there and they help you clean it, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, like, that one, I don't know if I can say Jules lost. I don't know if I'm rocking with you on that one. Ian, you got to explain the cops to me.
Well, I see. So my whole hypothesis is the cops are definitely getting fired. So just based on, because they have Fogel sign the affidavit in the back of the cop car.
But see, they got rid of the evidence, and I think they're throwing that shit away. Yeah, because Fogel took the thing.
No. This reminds me of the episode of It's Always Sunny where Mac and Charlie fake kill themselves, and they run the car into the wall and then shoot at the gas tank. And Dee just is like, okay, clearly you guys are idiots. Like, I'm not buying this. Like, what do you think's going to happen when a trained room of professional investigators comes and takes a look at this police car? You've got Bill Hader, who's a known shithead at this point because the woman on the radio is giving him sass when they tell him to go. They're like, car 98, that's you. You better respond. He's like, all right, we're on it. And then he turns it off and says, that fucking bitch. So clearly he's not well liked in the department, or they just know he's a shithead.
And they know he married that prostitute.
Yes. So he's got a lot of strikes against him is my point. And then Michaels is new. So they're not, they haven't invested a lot of time or money into him. He's pretty easily expendable if he's just some new recruit. So I'm saying those cops are definitely getting fired. And their night out with Fogel is their last hurrah, because there's no way that they're going to buy like McLovin is a 25-year-old guy who witnessed this.
They don't.
If you go by the story, they have to call him McLovin in the affidavit for it to make any sense, because they've been calling him McLovin the whole night. Like witnesses,
they find out his name though.
McLovin, like no,
but they're not going to snitch on him though. Yeah, they're not going to snitch on him though.
So then they have to call him McLovin to avoid giving away that he's like some high school kid who they.
Because if they snitch on him, they're definitely fired. Because then he could say
them for providing alcohol to a minor.
Yep, exactly, and let him drink at a bar. Damn, good point.
I've seen it.
So they back themselves into a corner.
I just think they lie.
They definitely don't get away with it, and they definitely get fired.
I'm not mad at that. That's a good point. I just like to believe they lie because I really like Michaels and Slater. All right. So Ian got the cops. I got Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy. He just got fucked. He got super
he was fucked up from the beginning. I don't feel bad for that guy.
Oh no, I don't. I have no bad feelings.
I'm gonna go with Mark though, because like you make a good point. Like his girlfriend, rubbing period blood on other dudes, on him. Also, his house probably gets trashed.
His house gets fucked. Yeah, and the cops show up and they have to hide the coat. Like. He went to jail.
His ass kicked.
No, they have a massive fight inside the house with like 3 or 4 different parties worth.
He goes to jail. I'm switching to Mark. I'm with you, Shubert. Mark goes to jail. Like there's coke in that dude's house. There's God knows who what. She tells him hide the gun. I don't think he heard that. Like dude got fucked.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. The cops might have gotten fired, but maybe they didn't get arrested.
Yeah, Mark definitely went to jail. All right, the hard one. Who took the dub? Who got the win?
Fogel.
Oh. All right.
But did Fogel take the win? I mean,
Fogel got to technically have sex. Fogel got to have.
If we have to say he technically had sex, did he really have sex?
I mean, it was in. He said it himself.
He did confirm that it was in. So I'll give you that.
He has one of the most legendary stories to tell when he gets to Dartmouth with all the fucking cops or whatever.
True.
Like, all that shit is legendary. He gets to shoot a gun. He fucking made it to Dartmouth or whatever. He gets to be Michael Cera's friend more
and he
so
gets a
than
fake
Seth
ID.
does. He gets a fake ID. He gets massive street cred from all of his high school people.
So whenever he comes back from Dartmouth, they think he's the big shit, plus of his whatever stories he makes up when he gets back. That's a good point. That in terms of characters and not actors, that's a damn good point. Because it's not Seth or Evan.
See, I don't know. I mean, you could call them winners. I mean, yeah. Evan is going to Dartmouth. He is dating the girl that he's had a crush on all of high school.
Evan could technically have a dub.
Seth, you could say, got a dub because while they never even say what college he's going to go to, because I don't think he really knows. Or do they?
They say like state or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to like one of the state schools.
Well, he was like, because the mom asked him like, "What are you going to do next year?" And he was like, "Oh, I got into some schools, some good schools, so I got some options."
It's later on.
I didn't think he was. Oh, that was like the opening scene, was it not?
Yeah, but I'm saying like later on, like they specified a little bit more. He's like,
"Oh, okay."
That he's,
I just missed that part. But Seth, I would still call a winner because his whole objective in the movie is to get with Jules, and I would say he at least got with her. Whether or not they started dating afterwards is a different question. But he accomplished his goal for the movie, so I would call him a winner. I would say everybody except Jules, because Jules didn't really. She kind of lost more than she won. I mean, her parents went out of town like right before graduation, which is super weird if you stop and think about it. She got a black eye right before she had to go take graduation pictures. So that's like one of those lifetime memories that you want that's just like going to be fucked up. I mean, it's a good story, but and she didn't necessarily win with Seth because she wasn't trying to get with Seth. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, she came out even at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I'm not giving it to any of the ladies because Becca threw up on Evan. Like even in that, like that's not a good story. That's an L. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with McLovin. But in terms of actors, who won? In terms of like acting, because like McLovin, I agree with you, Shubert. McLovin's the character that won. But in terms of acting, that's why I said it was difficult. Like, do you give it to Hader? Do you give it to Rogen?
I'm giving it to Jonah Hill.
Good.
Because without this movie, Jonah Hill doesn't go on to do any of the. I mean, this is his breakout role, if I'm not mistaken. So
it is. This is the one that was like big for him.
Yeah,
I'd probably have to say probably Jonah Hill.
Or does Christoph Mintz-Plasse get it? McLovin get it for both sides because he killed it acting wise.
And it kind of started his acting career, I guess. But I mean, Jonah definitely got the most better roles out of it. You could argue Seth Rogen too, because like I said,
you could argue Bill Hader.
Up, so. That was kind of like Seth Rogen's like big coming out. Emma Stone too, because like this is one of her first movies.
Yeah,
so,
Emma
like,
Stone is an
kind of
actress.
recognizes
This is big for her.
Yeah,
I'd have to say it's between Jonah, Emma Stone, and Bill Hader. Because Bill Hader, you got to think, was the Saturday Night Live guy that they thought was just doing sketch comedy. He shows he can act in a movie, and then after this, he gets role after role. This combined with Forgetting Sarah Marshall shoots Bill Hader up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's between those three. I don't know if he goes on to make Barry if he doesn't get those two roles.
That's a fact. I think, Ian, you're right. I think you got to go with Jonah Hill, but Emma Stone and Bill Hader are close seconds.
Yeah, just because Jonah Hill had Moneyball. I mean, even that alone would have been probably the biggest success out of any of the other characters besides Seth Rogen.
Shit, Wolf of Wall Street, I'd say, is a bigger success than any of the, like the Martin Scorsese
I even
Leo.
Forgot about that one. Yeah.
Like that shit, and Moneyball's great too, by the way. But like, I think Wolf of Wall Street would probably be his biggest.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I agree.
Gotta be, because like I don't know what else you would say. It would.
Well, I mean, 21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street was huge, and that's more. And I give that more to Jonah Hill than I give it to Channing Tatum. If I'm being honest,
I mean, he almost plays the same role.
Yeah, he's. This is basically Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street is basically Seth continued on during his path of life.
And we do have to mention that he did have a sort of major movie role before this. He was in Accepted. He played Ask Me About My Wiener.
Yeah, he did. Was he? And he was in Knocked Up.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if this is before Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but he's in that too. I think this is after.
I think it's before Forgetting Sarah Marshall, 2008.
Yeah, it's before. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Jonah Hill with you, Ian, as well. But Bill Hader and Emma Stone are a close second. But I'm with you, Shubert, of the character that won the movies, McLovin. So who do y'all have?
I have McLovin and Jonah Hill.
Who you got winning character-wise, Ian?
Character-wise, you can't bet against McLovin. He's clearly the winner.
He definitely did a good job. Who's six man in the movie? Can we count the cops as six men? Or are they starters?
I think you have to. I mean, like, who else do you count? There's really because Seth and Evan are obviously the two main characters, and then
McLovin's
Fogel.
A starter.
Yeah, McLovin's a starter, and then it would be Jules and Becca, I guess. So then the sixth men, if you will, because they're definitely a duo. It's got to be the cops. There's nobody else after that. Like, who do you even point to?
Or do they start? Like, do people consider the cops starters? Because you have McLovin, the two cops, and then Seth and Evan. Then the six man is tough. It just depends on if you count the cops as starters or do you consider Becca and Jules as starters.
I feel like the six men is a collective of Mark's party.
Ooh.
Because
I like
there's just so much good stuff that has to do with Mark's party, but it's all different people. Like, the cocaine guy, the dude who was in the TV show Numbers, the two guys on the couch. Dude. Yeah, the two guys.
So the guy who plays the driver, I looked up, his name is like Francis or something in the movie, the creepy dude. And then Mark is the guy at the party. So do you consider Mark the sixth man in that scenario?
I think he's saying the whole party. The collective. He's saying the whole party.
Because like.
And I agree why you say that. I can wait. Let me help.
The 12th man at
but like you can't
the bench.
You can't split that. You can't split that party up because the party altogether acts as like. I see what he's saying.
It like pieces together.
I think I got to go with Shubert and the party because I can't count Michaels and Slater's the cops as six men because they're starters. Like the movie doesn't work without them.
Nah. Okay. Hear me out on this. So the starters are all the kids from the high school.
So you're saying, okay, tell me how Becca and Jules are starters because they don't get enough screen time to be a starter to me.
Without them, there's no plot.
True. That's true.
Because Jules invites Seth to the party. And Evan is trying to get with Becca at the party.
He has to get that Gold Flake vodka. Yeah, true. They are the MacGuffins, quote unquote. They're the things that the main characters are trying to achieve. Them.
And then Fogel's got to be the last character because without Fogel, they don't have the fake ID to go get the booze for Jules's party where Becca is also going to be. So that for me is why they're the starting five. And then that makes the cops for me the sixth men.
Damn. Shubert, where do you put the? Do you consider
because I can't call a whole. That's like a whole like because they're weaving in and out with the Fogel story there.
The cops aren't in the first
that's
30.
The whole 45 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that like when we split off the two, it was.
But the thing
we were talking about Evan and Seth, and we were talking about Fogel. We weren't talking about Fogel and the cops.
But it is Fogel and the cops, though.
But they don't loop together. Like they don't come from the front to the end. Like they're.
But wait, they do. They do because they come back and they come and bust the party up, and then they take Fogel and do donuts. Like that's Fogel's like guys. But then my question to you is then okay, so the cops aren't in the first 30, but they're in everything after. Whereas Becca and Jules are in the first 30 and at the last like 15.
They're woven in though, based on plot references, the phone calls, the mentions of like
Damn, Shubert. Okay, who are you giving 6 men to, Shubert?
Probably the cops, but I mean, like, I think you understand, like, what I'm saying with the whole, like, as the party.
I like that party collective as a 6 man. I do. Damn,
I'm not rocking with that. We're not Texas A&M here.
I
You
guess
can't
you
count
give
the
it to the
crowd.
cops, but like I don't know if I count Becca and Jules as starters. They're like bad centers and power forwards.
I'm not saying they're good starters, but they're definitely starters because
They're the
all.
Pistons.
I mean,
All right,
what
wait.
do you have if you don't have?
Can we see how this movie's billed? Can we see who has top billing? Can that help?
Oh, I mean, the cops have top billing over. Well, no, actually, I think the girls.
Hold on, let's see. I'm gonna go to IMDb. I'm gonna see who they say. We'll start in the
because I was
top.
just looking at it.
Because I think the cops have top billing over them.
Mm.
They do. They definitely do.
But that's because they're more famous actors at that point.
Oh, but just barely. Like they're listed, and the two people under them are Becca and Jules.
Yeah.
Because
And then
neither
who's-
of
and
them
then
had
who's
had
listed-
big roles.
And
up
then who's
until that
listed
point.
next? Francis and Mark. That's
Francis
why
and Mark.
I think it's the party. I'm with you, Schubert. I'm with you. I'm saying it's the party because I think the cops are starters. They gotta be starters. There's no
So then Becca and Jules are less important than the people at the party who are only in it for like not even a quarter of the movie? You guys are nuts. You're saying those people are more important than the person who hosts the party that they're trying to go to the entire movie.
no.
And the girl
right.
that Evan, the main character, is so petrified of that he can't even talk to. You're saying the two guys who get in a fight randomly because the one's fiance cheats on him, that's more important than the people who are hosting the party that we're hearing about from start to finish in this movie?
Not
You
saying
guys are
they're more.
nuts.
Not saying they're more important, but just saying the six
Well,
man
so
to
if
me.
they're not, if
Six-
Becca and Jules are not in the main group, and they're also not the sixth men, then they're just like
The
tiny
role
bench
players.
They're like
Role
they're like the non-scholarship players, the walk-ons. That's what you're telling me right now. And
Look,
I'm calling it lunacy that we're considering them for the role of walk-ons, because that's nuts. You know they're more important than that. And you're trying to force this 12th man bullshit on me right now.
Let
And
me
I'm
just say
here
why I
for
think the
the
party.
reasonable people in the audience will agree with me. I'm not buying this for a moment, people at home. You don't
This
have
is what
to
Lou
worry.
Will does. Lou Will comes in a game in the six man and he lights it up and then leaves. He lights it up and then leaves. He does what he can, makes the situation better, and then goes back to the bench. And then everybody
But
comes
he's
back
one
on.
person. He's not a whole collective of people.
Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell are both considered the six men.
So then that's the cops. That's my point.
Yeah.
To me,
It's difficult.
Becca and Jules are just fucking role players. They're not even. They're the walk-ons. But all right.
Nonsense.
All right, I guess you're right, Ian. I guess I'll cave. I will give it to the cops, but to me, I consider the cops starters. I'm with
See, I'm not mad if you call the cops starters and you call
you're just mad if I don't
Jules
call Jules and
and
Becca
the sixth
men.
men. But if they're not the sixth men, then you're telling me they're less important than fucking creepy ass Francis and Mark, who's just there to get cheated on and then get in a fight.
But we're also throwing in the guy who calls him Jimmy's brother. We're throwing in the cokehead.
Oh yeah.
His friend came all the way from Scottsdale. Like we have to give him something.
How dare you? It's his brother.
Yes.
Oh man. All right. I guess I don't know. I don't want to give it to Becca and Jules, so I guess I'll give it to the cops. But like,
why is there so much hate with you, Lynn?
because they're just not. They don't do that. Like they're just plot devices. They're plot devices. That's all they are. Like they don't impact like some of these other things impact the movie. Like when you think of the funniest shit of the movie, you don't think of Jules and Becca. It's like you don't like think of all the funniest shit in the movie. Is any of it involving them? Besides the fact that the plot surrounds them, I'm talking about is any bit that's hilarious, like any funny bit, does it involve? Like, are they in that scene?
Her drunk ass trying to strip is pretty funny.
Okay, one.
Yeah, and when he gets the money from Jules originally,
two,
she's in that scene.
Now,
also, the whole scene in Home Ec where not only do they have a conversation, but
it's not her though.
Yeah,
that's Seth Rogen doing. I mean, that's Jonah Hill doing Jonah Hill. I'll give you
which
two.
Which is why I'm saying, if you want to put them at the sixth men's spot, I'm not mad at it.
Think of the impact of the funny bits of all the cop stuff, but think of the funny bits of all the party stuff.
So are we going to make the same argument for the old lady and the security guard at the grocery store?
Fuck no.
That's my point. It's just a scene. It's not a sixth man.
Oh man. All right.
Very
Whatever.
big scene.
Whatever. Y'all let us know out there what y'all think. Who's the sixth man in this movie?
Even if you wanted to just say Mark as the sixth man, I wouldn't be mad at it.
But see, you can't just say Mark, though. I'm with Schubert. You can't just say Mark. It's got to be the collective. It's just got to be the party. The party itself is the sixth man.
You guys are nuts.
Bro, is that
Please
blood?
tell us in the comments.
Oh, dude,
what
it's
the deal
fucking
is.
blood.
Let us know in the comments. Who
I've
do you
never
think?
before seen that in my life.
Oh man! All right, so that's all we got really for this movie. Anything else y'all want to say about it? Because those are all the categories I had.
Oh no!
No,
I mean, the only
man.
thing I could say about it was like back to where I think what's really interesting to me and like what I want to learn more about is like different variation, like the people in the party. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I would love to know like how the rest of the night went for Mark, or what the hell happened to the dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine in that deal or whatever, and like
Francis.
and the people at the party and the store clerk, and I want to know if the other store clerk, if she aced her
Passed the
veterinary
final?
exam. These are things that I need to know.
You're crazy. Oh man, I don't know where we're gonna go next for running back. Like, are we going superhero? Are we going animated? Where are we going? We're going Star Wars?
I mean, I guess we're gonna find another Michael Cera movie.
No, bro, we're not doing it. Oh yeah, wait, this is 2 in a row. Oh my God.
Are we just going to go through the Michael Cera greatest hits on this show?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
I think we've done it.
I didn't even mean to do that. Like, I did not mean for that to happen. That just happened by coincidence because I am not a Michael Cera fan. Funny enough, in both of these movies, he is not my favorite character.
Well, no, Seth is obviously the best character in this movie.
He's not
And in
even.
Scott
He's not even.
Pilgrim,
He's not even third in the. He's not. No, it goes Seth, McLovin, Slater, Michaels, then maybe Evan. Evan is the last starter on this fucking team. Like
so much hate.
Yeah.
man.
So what's next? Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Juno.
Gosh,
Year One.
all trash.
Oh,
All trash. This
This
really
Is the
might have
End,
already
where he
done
plays
his best
himself.
movies. We legitimately might have done his best movies already.
Well,
So are we
except
doing
for
a Seth Rogen
except
movie then?
for Lego Batman.
Jeez.
Lego Batman.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We might have to go to like a genre pick. We might have to do like
he's the voice of Robin.
oh yeah, he is. We might have to do something. We'll either do
He was in
like
Sausage Party.
we'll either start the Marvel Cinematic Universe because like I had an idea to where when we do those we'll go in order. So Schubert's gonna have to determine like how we do Star Wars. Like I'm gonna let that order be up to him. And so I think when we do those movies, we're gonna do those in order. Like we'll start at Iron Man, then like we'll wait a couple months, then do Hulk, I guess, because that's the next one, and then like
Oh,
Are we
wait, we're gonna
doing the
go
Edward
through the
Norton
whole
Hulk?
fucking thing.
we're not gonna do it like all at once. It's gonna be a process that takes like
A gradual process of the fucking Endgame saga.
Yeah, we do it like they were released, and we wait the same amount of time that normally happened in between the
that's what I'm
movies as they
saying.
were
We gotta
actually
wait like
released.
we gotta wait
So it's
like
gonna take us like 15 years, but we'll get through it.
we gotta wait a couple months. But I think we'll do like either Dark Knight or Star Wars next. I'm feeling one of those. Or we can do like
Or Ant-Man.
No, bro. What? Ant-Man is not next. What is up with you and Ant-Man?
It's
do
the
My
best
vote is the
one.
Edward Norton Hulk.
Or we might do a classic. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But this has been the Superbad running back. Ian, tell people they can find you out on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at IanBWT. You can find me on Instagram at IanHawley12. SoundCloud, you can find me at Chop Shop. YouTube, you can find me at Old Daddy.
Y'all make sure y'all go follow Ian. Schubert, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ashubert14. As Justin likes to mention, you can find me on LinkedIn. But I won't mention Snapchat. I'll give you that one, Lynden.
Jesus.
But yeah, you can listen to Bros Who Binge.
It's gonna be
That should
out.
coming out this week. So.
No, it's gonna be out by the time the people hear this.
Yeah, Mandalorian and all that. That's what we're talking about right now. Big time week with Katie Sackhoff finally getting on there. So we'll be talking about it.
100%. You guys can follow me at LynBWT. Follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube for more content. The next running back will be an anime one. I got to decide if we're going to do Perfect Blue because shout out to Pete at What Do You Say Anime. They did a Perfect Blue review, and I don't want to do it if they did it. So, like, I want to wait some time. I want to be fresh. Like, no one was doing Superbad. I was like, yeah, lit. No one. Like, I'm trying to be, not doing what these other pods are doing. And if y'all want to go check out Perfect Blue, y'all go check out Pete's review. So I got to figure out what me and Chris are going to do next. We might do The Boy and the Beast. I've been trying to get people to pick that one for a while. So
The My Hero Academia movie.
Fuck.
Then I can talk about it.
Fuck no, that movie's asshole. But all right, that's all we got this week. Like I said, for more information, you follow us on Twitter and make sure you subscribe to YouTube for more content. But until next time, peace.